Hola guys and girls, and welcome to week 4 GBA Team Builder. We are actually not facing Chubb and the Pittsburgh Predators. That is next week. I made a mistake there in the battle. We are facing Chimpact and the Philadelphia Scizors, so it's still a very threatening opponent we have to face right here. We are of course currently 1-2, losing to Monotui next week, so Monotui is currently undefeated, number 1 in our division. George actually is only 1 win ahead of us, and Tab of course being 0-3, being 1 loss behind us. So this game still means a lot. If we win, we are potentially getting to 2nd place. If we lose, we are potentially getting to last place. So either way, we want to win this match. It's still very important in terms of standings. But yeah. Let's look at Chim's team and see what he can bring to the table to avoid such a future in which I would get to 2nd place. He got the Kirby, the Thunderous Incarnate, which actually is Z-Captain as well, Azumarill, Fortress, Volcanion, Sawali, Ditto, Dugtrio, Gligar, Alimamola, and the Kofak. Gligar and Kofak just new to his squad edit, so I'm definitely expecting to bring some of that, because usually you make the trade so you can bring it in the match you will have next week. I don't know if Jim thinks that way, but there's a very high chance that one of them will come, because he has some idea of one for one of these mons versus me. After that, Kirby, monster, Azumarill, monster. Like both things, Kirby have a better time switching in, but both things, if they go for the right move, I get to KO basically. That's just the problem with Kirby always. And Azumarill, this double stab, like he only needs his double stab and he 2-KOs my whole team, because my fairy resists are my Magearna, which sadly has no reliable recovery, so physically defensive. Magearna would take on some waterfalls, but not too many. Then we are focused at Rotom as our fairy resist, which just gets outcoded by waterfall, and our water resist, which are mainly the Latios and the Scizor, just get both 2-KO'd by Play Rough. So yeah, very annoying. Like, I mean, I have of course Nihilego as fairy resist as well, but that has so poor defensive. It basically gets after Play Rough, it gets outcoded by an Aqua Jet, so nothing to scoff at there. So yeah, Kirby and Azumarill are definitely the biggest threats to his team. Other threats you can note are the Dugtrio. I have a few ground weaknesses on my, or not a few, I have many ground weaknesses on my team. The Nihilego, the Magearna, the Lucario. Each of those Dugtrio outspeeds and can potentially trap and outcode with a Bandit Earthquake. If he's Focus Sash, he won't outcode Magearna, but he can still do a lot of damage once my Magearna is hurt and stuff like that. So yeah, Dugtrio very threatening because of the many things he can trap on my team, and then of course Azumarill and Kirby. Fundy with his Zeke move, of course threatening as well, very fast, but I think I can handle that way better than Azumarill or Kirby. And then we have Fortress, Nice Spinner, has its stacks. Volcanion, of course. Volcanion is not that big of a problem, but he brought that many times. Volcanion and Azumarill was mainly his win con. One of the two, like Scarf Volcanion and then Bandit Azumarill, something like that. Or this time it could be other way around. It could be like more of a sweeper Azumarill with like Assault Death or something like that, and then a choice specs. There we go. I want to say choice modest, but that doesn't make sense. Choice specs Volcanion, because yeah, the water spam on his team is very strong. Then Alimamola and Ditto, I don't really expect him to bring them. He did not bring them to one game yet. And to be fair, I don't see them bringing them too often. Of course, I have to be wary with setup variants on my team because of the Ditto. But yeah, like I said, I don't expect it to bring it too often. And then Sawali, I'm definitely expecting to bring in Sawali Steel, because Fortress, as his Fairy Resist, or Volcanion, are not stopping Magearna, because the electric coverage it gets. And Fortress, of course, being 4 times weak to fire and have very poor special defenses, is not a very good stop to my Magearna. So I'm kind of expecting Sawali Steel, Expedef variant, like I repeat my team every week. Like I think Sawali Steel will be a definite bring on his part. It's very nice to take on my Latios, to take on my Nihilego, to take on my Magearna, like I already said. And yeah, will be a pain to take down if he should bring that. But if he should bring that, he has some troubles getting hazards up. So he probably may bring Gligar then. So it's either going to be Fortress or Sawali and Gligar, where I definitely think Sawali Gligar is the more likely option for him to bring. But okay, looking at my team right now, looking at the first one, we got with the Assault Vest, the Primarina, Moonblast, Scald, Energy Ball, and Hidden Power Electric. Enough speed to outspeed any mon which wants to speed creep a no-speed Magearna. And then just max the special attack modest and the rest in some bulk to maximize the bulk I get through Assault Vest. So, this thing there is mainly to stop the Volcanion. This is my first switch into the Volcanion. Slush Bomb won't be able to 2-KO me, Hidden Power Electric will be able to 2-KO him. And other than that, this thing will be there to be one of my switch-ins to the Kyurem. Of course, I'm immune to the Dragon Stab. I can take Ice Beams with ease because of Resisted and Assault Vest. But Fusion Bolt 2-hit KOs me. Like I said, if Kyurem goes for the right move, it will 2-hit KO me. So this is one thing on my core which will be the switch into Kyurem. I have to predict around it. I have to scout if he's maybe Scarf, if he's Choice Locked into something. What are his moves? So this thing will be one of those to check the Kyurem. Not alone, of course, because alone it won't be able to do that. So, Moondust, of course, main stab, Scald to get some burns. Before Scald, I had Ice Beam there for stuff like the Fundy Z or the Gligar and stuff like that. But I said Scald because I want to have something to hit the Sawali Steel harder if he should bring that. And potentially get a burn, and that could be very nice negating the... he doesn't even leftover, so I can, if he is Sawali Steel. So, because he has to have the memory, so I can get some residual damage on it. So I decided to Scald all of that. Then, of course, Energy Ball for the Azumarill and Hidden Power Electric, mainly for the, the Volcanion. Then, next up, we got Fancy Hat. Has a very nice matchup with his team. He has a multitude of rock weaknesses, mainly Kyurem B, the Thunderous, the Volcanion. Three of his main mons are weak to rock, so Nihilego will be very nice with those. It outspeeds everything barring the Thunderous, but it can basically OHKO the Kyurem, basically OHKO the Volcanion, if barring he has like Charlie Berry or some fancy spread. But yeah, enough speed to outspeed the max speed Kyurem, just max special attack, and then rest in bulk, Power Gem, Sludge Bomb, Stealth Rock, and Toxic Spikes. I decided not to run Hidden Power Fire on this. I want to have Stealth Rock and Toxic Spikes because both hazards are potentially very nice with this team depending on what he brings. So depending on what the matchup is, on what he brings, I will decide what I most likely will only get one hazard up, because after I get one hazard up, he will most likely go into Dugtrio, we'll find out that on Chat Shell, and then play better around that, and Nihilego is not the bulkiest one on the physical side, sadly. So yeah, if I get only one hazard up, I will see in the matchup what I like more, if I want Stealth Rocks or Toxic Spikes, but both are very nice to this team. He does not have a poison type to get rid of Toxic Spikes, so raining down stuff like the Kyurem, the Azumarill, the Volcanion, this, no, not Sawali, if it's Sawali, the Dugtrio, of course I still break the Sash, the Alumamola, the Kofak, many things on this team which like to get poisoned, because, or get Rock Sunburst, because Rocks, like I said, he has many Rock Speaks on his team. Stealth Rocks might be more important if he brings his main mons, which are the Kyurem, the Fundy, and the Volcanion. But he brings a more bulky squad, like something else, I might want to have Toxic Spikes on his team. I just want to have that option. Hidden Power Fire would have been nice, of course, to hit like stuff like the Fortress or the Sawali Steel. But I side against it. I have other mons which can take care of it. And Toxic Spikes are just looking way too juicy versus team. Power Gem, of course, main stab, and Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave, because even some poisons and stuff might be very nice. Especially on stuff like the, like I said, on the Alumola, if he should decide to bring that. I don't really think so, but if he does, that's going to be very nice. And the Chat Shell, of course, is there, so I can switch out versus the Dugtrio. If he brings the Dugtrio, he might want to hard switch into my Nihilego, because he might have some bulk to outlive Sludge Bombs. Because if he doesn't have any bulk, Sludge Bomb has a very high chance to KO him, like 75%. So he will have to break the round, be going for Power Gem or something like that. But if he's Sash, that is. If he's like, if he's not Sash, he has to say, or pretty much every time sack something before he can bring it in versus Nihilego. So yeah, Nihilego is going to be a very important mon on the squad. Happy to have it here. Next up, we got Lufthansa, the Expert Belt Latias with Dragon Pulse, Ice Beam on Thunderbolt, and Recover. Enough speed once again to outspeed the max speed Kyurem, rest max special attack, rest in HP. Recover there, of course, there for recovery, and that what implies the move. Expert Belt is there so I can bluff the Scarf, because I bluff Scarf Latias a fair amount of times, and if I don't show Life Orb or something like that, he might think that Expert Belt, as long as I don't change up moves. Dragon Pulse there as main stab, Expert Belt, Dragon Pulse, OHKOs the Kyurem. Expert Belt Thunderbolt does a lot to the Volcanion and stuff like that. And then I have Ice Beam there mainly because I was scared of the Gligar. Because without Ice Beam on my Primarina, I did not have any ice coverage on my team. Like, if you look at that team, I don't have any other ice coverage. And the Spadef Gligar will be a pain to take down. It could potentially take Dracos from Aladias, roost up, and then I'm on -2, blah blah blah. And yeah, Spadef Gligar would be very annoying for the team I'm bringing. So I'm bringing Ice Beam on Aladias mainly for that. Of course, it hits stuff like the Thunderous as well. But it's mainly for that. I had HP Fire on that before, but then I decided to go Scald on Primarina, and then I changed HP Fire to Ice Beam. So if he does not bring the Gligar, I would have, of course, prepared HP Fire for stuff like the Sawali or the Fortress. But if he brings the Gligar, I will be glad to have the Ice Beam on this thing. Yeah. Next up, we got, this is the other mon basically on the core to stop the Kyurem, because this thing I can switch into Scouting for Fusion Bolts, stuff like that. Of course, it won't be able to take a Dragon attack or Ice attack, but that's what Primarina. So basically, Latias and Primarina is the core to together stop the Kyurem. Of course, if I have to be very careful about Kyurem. Kyurem is a mon you have to be very careful around. If you before you get wrecked by Kyurem, rather sack something, get a free switch into something, and then kill it. But if I try to be if I'm able to predict around that, these two will be the mons to do it, to break the Kyurem down. Next up, we got Cool Doggo the Lucario with a very fancy spread, especially variant, actually with Nasty Plot, Flash Cannon, Aura Sphere, and Vacuum Wave. Vacuum Wave, of course, be for priority. It hits the Kyurem for super effective damage, and you have Flash Cannon, Aura Sphere, just double stab of Nasty Plot. I decided for a special variant because Kofak is a very nice stop, like Cobalt Kofak. It's a very nice stop to physical Lucario, and I want to catch him off guard. Because like I said, if he brings, like Gliga is physically bulky as well, so he might even bring a physically defensive Gliga to stop my Lucario. So like I said, once he makes the trade before week, you'll always have to be careful that they will be the ones coming this week. Because usually people are always eager to use the ones they just traded for. So that's why I decided to run a special variant. This spread is actually there. With this defense investment and the Sugar Berry and this HP investment, I will be able to live a Bandit Dactyls Earthquake if it could come to him trapping me, or I can live a Life Orb Earth Power from Magearna. On both things, I will be able to either KO them with Flash Cannon Aura Sphere, if of course the Sash is broken on the Dactyl, or I can kill the Kyurem with Flash Cannon Aura Sphere, or I can even decide to Nasty Block on them up to kill them with a Vacuum Wave. The speed is there to enough speed to outspeed the max speed Volcanion, and this thing is very nice to late game sweep potentially. The one thing I need damage on is the Thunderous, of course, because that resists both my stabs. I mean, I would be able to outspeed either way, but plus 2 Vacuum Wave will still do a decent amount to that. If I have rocks up, he basically only needs he needs 3 rock switch ins. So basically 2 rock switch ins and a little damage on Thunderous, and then I will be able to pick him off with Vacuum Wave. This thing has the potential to run through his team if the Thunderous is weakened, and if the Azumarill is Assault, it has to be weakened as well, but Flash Cannon does a good amount of damage to that. So I'm not too worried. Of course I have some defense, so I can take Aqua Jets easier, and with no close combat I won't getting no split effort defense drops, which is very nice as well. Next up, we got my main late game sweep of the team. We got Ricicle, the Choice Scarf Magearna with Flash Cannon, Dazzling Gleam, Aura Sphere, and Volt Switch. This thing is there to be my late game sweep. I probably won't reveal till late game that I am a Choice Scarf Magearna, because with the speed I have, I will speed everything which tries to speed creep my fastest mon. So basically I will speed everything barring Scarfers on his own team. The whole early game will be probably getting damage on mons and scouting what is his Scarfer, if he even has one. If he has no Scarfer, I also just need a little bit damage on things, which I mainly get through rocks if I get them up. So, and then this thing can just sweep through with either Dazzling Gleam or Flash Cannon, depending on what is still alive and what is dead. RSC is just there so I can get some more damage on the potential Sivoli. If that is Sivoli Seed is there, and Volt Switch of course is there for the momentum. This thing is going to be very nice. I basically only need 1 kill. Like, that's the good thing about Choice Scarf Magearna. Once I get a kill, Soul Heart activates and I get a Attack boost, and yeah, the next attack will do even more, so it will just get stronger and stronger and stronger, and if I outspeed his whole team, he basically won't be able to stop that. So yeah, I'm expecting Magearna to be my late game sweeper. This is going to be my main plan. Of course I have stuff like Lucario, which can potentially change things up, but Magearna is going to be my win condition, most likely. Of course I can't prepare for everything, but Magearna outspeeds his whole team and will get stronger and stronger. I just have to scout for Scarfers, potentially get rid of them, and yeah, then see what Magearna can do, because it can still live, like, because of its bulk, it can still live a hit from most Scarfers it could potentially bring. So I'm not too worried, because if I can 2-hit go with their Scarfer, it's basically no problem anymore. I just need to live like their priority, which is like the main priority he has is like Aqua Jet on Azumarill, which I have to be careful about. Next up, we got the Rotom-Heat with the Partial Berry, Overheat, Volt Switch, Foul Play, and Will-O-Wisp. Enough speed to outspeed the max speed Volcanion, max special attack, and rest in HP with the Partial Berry. This thing is basically there to lure the Azumarill. Before I had this thing, I had basically no switches to play rough on Azumarill. He had no reason not to click play rough on Azumarill. If he's choice banded variant, he basically has no reason to not spam that, because my best switch into that is the Magearna, but that thing doesn't like taking the hits too well, so I want to have a play rough resistance on the team barring Magearna, which is my Rotom-Heat. And with the Partial Berry, if he's not choice, I get this in on a play rough and he tries to pick me off with Aqua Jet, I can lift that and kill him with Volt Switch, which would be very nice, or burn it potentially with Will-O-Wisp. Overheat is there mainly for the Fortress, or I can get some good damage on the Thunderous and stuff like that. Foul Play is there that basically every variant of Kyurem I can break its sub. If he's a substitute Kyurem and I'm in with Rotom, I won't switch out. I will most likely just go for Foul Play, trying to break a sub, because other than that, with Will-O-Wisp, Overheat, Volt Switch, he can easily just go for a sub on me, and then I'm in a world of hurt, because with a sub, he can actually change up moves, so my whole strategy of pivoting around my Latios and my Primarina wouldn't actually work with him. That's why I have the Foul Play on there. And yeah, Partial Berry, like I said, it helps versus the Volcanion as well. If he's like a Choice Scarf Volcanion, then I can take like a Steam Eruption and Volt Switch on that to kill it as well. Partial Berry, overall, a very nice item on my Rotom-Heat. Like you can see on my team, I bring in a very offensive team. I actually nothing defensive. Like the most defensive I have is Assault as Primarina, but that is still offensive invested. But that is just because his offense breaks my defense. Like Kyurem and Azumarill, I have basically no need to bring defensive monsters as those. They still 2-hit kill everything, so I'm trying to counter his offense with my offense. And yeah, offensive versus offensive clash are going to be always very exciting because they have many high-risk predictions if you want to switch in an offensive monster. Or it's will you just sack this, Death comes in, kills this, he comes in, kills this, and then it's just basically who gets the first kill or who gets the last kill, better said. So it's going to be a very exciting match tomorrow. I hope you will look forward to that. If you like this team builder, definitely leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think of the team. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Borussia Donphan versus the Philadelphia Scizors. Be excited for that. I will see you there. Ciao.